Hey, what's going on, everyone? You know, I said I was not gonna make any videos about that cartoon anymore, iPad Go 2, but I have to make one more real quick video because of my flawed and incorrect interpretation. I have to slightly readjust. Um, because of the eclipse that occurred, the um, the Ring of Fire eclipse, I've come to realize that the Ring of Fire, I believe, is like symbolic for birth. So it's gonna come out of the sun, whatever this is. If it's the quote unquote jinn or genie that I suspect, it could be the spirit of the sun. It could be an alien. It could all be completely and totally metaphorical and symbolic and have no literal meanings whatsoever, which is probably the most likely scenario because things this exciting usually just don't happen. But just in case it is literal, that being is definitely not Sirius. He's not a star being from Sirius. He's a star being from our own sun. So if you look at Lily in the scene, go to minute marker 1-19, and Lily is she's sitting. She's the moon, and she's sitting on the sun. And I've always kind of wondered if the apple represented the apple of the forbidden fruit, and I believe it does. I believe that she represents Eve, and she doesn't she changes her mind and doesn't eat the forbidden fruit. But it's also something else. So I was thinking if she's the moon and the sun is beneath her, then the apple could also be the comet or the asteroid or the ship that the star being is going to arrive in. So it hits Obama's feet. So this comet hits Obama's feet. And I've seen other YouTubers talk about Hawaii. Hawaii being a place of significance. Because the big island of Hawaii looks very much like the head of a goat. And there's a section on the east side of the island that looks like a goat's neck. And I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about how they were going to symbolically cut the goat's neck, which is going to be a landslide. They'll make this big tsunami or whatever. But if that's a comet, I'm thinking maybe the comet hits Obama's feet, and since Obama's basically Hawaiian, I mean, he's not Hawaiian, but he grew up there, maybe the comet hits Hawaii, and then it initiates this landslide. Possibly. It's so hard to say, but just take note of the whole birthing process in the animation. At the end, especially, just how much water there is everywhere. Water is symbolic. Water breaking birth, and where's the water at the end? When the coronal mass ejection happens, the water is flooding the pyramids. So is the actual being gonna come out of somewhere in Egypt and watch the pyramids get destroyed and flooded? Is the world gonna be shaken up and flooded by this event, by this birthing event? Possibly. Definitely see like the symbolism here, because especially just the CME alone, just the coronal, just the solar event, that Corey Good talks about, that alone could be like the birth. It's like shining the light on the sun god. The sun is just bursting with joy and shining the light and just illuminating the sun god who's coming out of the canal. And the whole destruction scene, it's pretty epic. It's pretty crazy. So I have real doubts that these are literal events, but we could see destruction if it is literal events. Not could, I mean, we will. It'll be a whole reset. I think the sun god has maybe our sun has something to do with the cycles of life here on Earth. Maybe over millennia or over eons, it comes back and gives birth every so often to the celestial being that comes back to Earth and resets everything and starts from scratch. That's why we've had so many cataclysms. It's 75% of all life on Earth dead, 90% of all life on Earth dead, time and time and time again. Maybe the sun has something to do with the cyclical reset process that we've been going through for eons. Maybe the sun is responsible for life. Without it wouldn't be here. So it could be like our big brother, or older, or like our grandfather, or something, just watching over evolution on Earth. Like I said earlier, it's like the celestial being, the star being, is so evolved. The sun is, as a being, as a living being, is so evolved that it would be comparing like us to a single-celled organism, and he would be like an elephant or a whale. There's just no comparison. It just wouldn't even compute. He would basically be a god to us, which is inconceivable. But anyway, I think I'll be done with that. If that Ring of Fire eclipse was a birth, was the beginning of the canal opening, and this stuff is literal, then God knows how long that process could be. I mean, we're talking about the sun here. I mean, weeks, months, years. I mean, this might not even play out till the mid-2020s. I don't even know. Like, it's so hard to say. How do you gauge something like that? I believe that it's showing this time frame, and I personally think that this will happen quickly, but it's impossible to tell. I don't know. Anywho, that'll be enough of that officially for now. I'm trying to focus on my music again. I used to use this channel and others for music. And I'm going to talk about some more dreams and stuff. And I've been having dreams, but I've been having a lot of trouble remembering them. I've had some interesting dreams over the last few days, but I've really struggled to remember them when I woke up, which is unusual because I usually remember them very well. I'll get back to you guys. Have a good one.